The afternoon light streamed through the windows of the luxurious living room, reflecting off the cold surface of the marble coffee table. Across from it, Park Yin sat upright on the plush sofa, her hands gripping the edge of her skirt tightly. In front of her sat a middle-aged man, smiling kindly, though his eyes radiated a firm presence, Mr. Jeon, the father of the man she was about to be introduced to. Beside Mr. Jeon sat Mr. Park, Yin's father, occasionally glancing at his daughter with a hopeful look. Yin, Mr. Jeon broke the slightly tense silence. We've had a long discussion with your parents. As you might have guessed, this meeting is not just a casual visit. Yin swallowed hard, nodding slowly. She had already been informed of the general idea, an arranged marriage, a concept not unfamiliar within their social circle. We agree, considering the background and values both our families hold, that you two would make a good match, Mr. Park added, his voice calm and reassuring. My son, Jeon Jungkook, will arrive shortly. He knows the purpose of this meeting, Mr. Jeon continued. Yin's heart pounded. Jeon Jungkook. The name wasn't new to her. A young and successful CEO, his face was familiar. After all, they had crossed paths several times at their family's corporate events. But the problem was, Yin had never felt comfortable around him. He was too stiff and cold. That was the impression etched in her mind. Not long after, the room's door opened, and a tall man stepped in. Charisma and confidence immediately filled the space. He wore a neat suit, his hair perfectly styled, and his eyes sharp yet not intimidating. Jeon Jungkook. Sorry I'm late, he said with a deep but polite voice, bowing slightly. Yin looked up, their eyes meeting briefly. This time though, Jungkook's gaze wasn't as piercing as she remembered. It held a hint of softness. Jungkook, have a seat, Mr. Park invited. Jungkook sat down on the sofa, directly facing Yin. Silence fell once again, heavier this time. The four parents allowed the young couple to observe each other in quiet for a moment. Mrs. Park cleared her throat. Well then, Yin, Jungkook, you've had a good look at each other. How do you feel? She said with a teasing tone. Yin immediately felt her cheeks heat up. Her mother, really? She didn't know how to respond. What could she possibly feel just from looking at him? Tension, maybe? Jungkook spoke first. I'm not sure yet. We've never been close, but I'm willing to get to know Yin better, if she's also willing. His gaze shifted back to Yin, full of curiosity. Yin felt all eyes on her. She took a deep breath. This was a big decision, one that would shape her future and her family's expectations. But seeing Jungkook's calm and respectful demeanor, she felt there was room to try. I'm also willing to try, Yin answered softly, her voice slightly trembling. I trust our parents' judgment. I'm willing to get to know you. Mrs. Jeon's eyes lit up. Wonderful, Yin. I'm so happy you're willing to give it a try. I'm glad you'll be my daughter-in-law, she said warmly, her broad smile beaming. Yin blushed even deeper from the affectionate welcome. A satisfied smile formed on the parents' lips. The once tense atmosphere melted away, replaced by relief and optimism. Very well, Mr. Jeon said. Then it's settled. You'll be given time to get to know each other. Dates? Dinners? Whatever you two need. There's no pressure, but we hope you'll give this relationship a fair chance. Okay, Dad, Jungkook replied. The meeting ended with lighter conversation, touching on general topics. Yin and Jungkook exchanged phone numbers awkwardly under the watchful eyes of their parents. A few days later, their first date felt overly formal. They chose an upscale restaurant where the atmosphere was stiff and overly proper. Their conversation revolved around work, a few shared hobbies, and polite questions about each other's backgrounds. Sorry if I seem awkward, Jungkook suddenly said, breaking the silence after the waiter left. I'm not used to dates like this. Yin gave a small smile. Same here. This is a new experience for me too. How do you feel so far about all of this? Jungkook asked, meeting her eyes. Yin hesitated for a moment. Honestly, at first, it was a little scary. It felt unreal, but I appreciate your effort to make this comfortable. Jungkook nodded. Me too. Honestly, I'm not surprised about the matchmaking, but even so, it still feels unfamiliar. Still, I trust my parents. Sometimes the best way to find the right partner is through something more structured, something that considers more than just fleeting feelings of falling in love. I agree, said Yin. I trust my parents want the best for me, and I'm willing to open my heart to this possibility. Thank you, Yin, Jungkook said sincerely. I'll do my best to make this work. I hope you will too. I will try, Yin promised. That first date ended politely, stiff and awkward, but without any sparks. Still, they agreed to meet again, and again. Over time, their dates became a little more relaxed. They tried different places, talked about the books they were reading, movies they had watched, and even shared their dreams. Yin began to see a different side of Jungkook, more easygoing, sometimes funny, and most importantly, attentive. He listened closely when Yin spoke, remembered small details, and showed genuine curiosity about her world. They had truly started to accept each other. Eventually, neither of them minded when their parents suggested it was time to make the engagement official. A month later, the engagement party was held. It was a fairly large event, attended by extended family and close friends from both sides. They looked perfect together, smiles lighting up their faces as they received congratulations. In the middle of the crowd, Yin saw a woman approaching Jungkook with familiarity. The woman was beautiful, dressed fashionably, and walked straight up to him. "Jungkook, congratulations," she said cheerfully. "I'm so happy for you." "Thank you, Minji," Jungkook replied, smiling back. "Let me introduce you. This is Park Yin, my fiancé. Yin, this is Minji. She was a college friend of mine, and also our neighbor." Minji turned to Yin. The smile on her face faded slightly, replaced by a more unreadable expression. "Oh, hello Yin," she said, offering her hand. The handshake was brief and cold. "I'm Kim Minji." "Park Yin," Yin replied, trying to stay polite. "So this is the girl your mom kept talking about?" Minji asked Jungkook, ignoring Yin. "Turns out you were willing to go through with the matchmaking after all, huh?" "Minji," Jungkook said calmly, though there was a slight tension in his eyes. "Yes, we were matched, but we made the final decision ourselves." Minji let out a small laugh. "Of course, I'm just teasing. Congratulations again, Jungkook. I hope you're happy." For the rest of the event, Yin occasionally saw Minji talking comfortably with Jungkook and his mother. Minji looked completely at ease among the Jeon family, as if she had always been part of it. She laughed freely when chatting with Jungkook and seemed very familiar. Yin felt a faint sting of jealousy, but she quickly brushed it off. Jungkook was with her tonight. He had proudly introduced her as his fiancé. That was what mattered. She chose to focus on how Jungkook treated her, rather than how others behaved. Their relationship became increasingly close after the engagement was made official. Jungkook even began calling or video chatting with Yin after work, right before they went to bed. The calls didn't last long. They were both tired after a long day, but still, they made time for each other. At the very least, they never missed a chance to say goodnight and sweet dreams. At a glance, they seemed like a couple truly in love, dating and engaged not because of an arrangement, but because of genuine affection. 2 months later. Today was Yin's birthday. Jungkook picked her up and brought her to a restaurant with a beautiful city view. The atmosphere was romantic, far from the stiffness of their first date. When dessert arrived, Jungkook pulled out a small box from the pocket of his suit. Yin's heart skipped a beat. "Happy birthday, Yin," he said softly, handing her the box. "I hope you like it." Yin carefully opened the box. Inside lay a platinum bracelet with a small crescent moon charm. Simple, yet elegant, and it looked expensive. "Oh, Jungkook," Yin whispered, her eyes glistening. This is so beautiful." "I'm glad you like it," Jungkook replied, a faint blush on his cheeks. "I picked it myself." "Really?" He nodded. "I thought the crescent moon symbolizes a new beginning, a beginning for us." Yin was touched. His awkward demeanor and sincere words warmed her heart. She never expected someone as cold as him to be this romantic. "Let me put it on for you." Jungkook took the bracelet, reached out his hand, and gently fastened it around Yin's wrist. His touch was warm and comforting. "Thank you so much, Jungkook," Yin whispered, gazing at the bracelet. It wasn't just jewelry, it was a symbol of the relationship they were starting to build, a symbol of Jungkook's growing affection for her. "You're welcome, Yin," he replied. "You deserve it." That night, Yin felt genuinely happy. It felt like their relationship had grown far beyond just an arranged engagement. There was something real forming between them, something tender and sincere. A few weeks after Yin's birthday, that night, a light drizzle fell softly, dancing on Yin's bedroom window. As had become their habit since getting engaged, they made time for a video call before going to sleep. Yin lay on her bed, wearing a cozy pastel nightgown, the blanket pulled up to her chest. Her hair was down, and her phone was propped up on a pillow, showing Jungkook's face on the screen. On the other side, Jungkook was also ready for bed. He sat leaning against the headboard of his hotel bed in Bizen, wearing a comfortable casual t-shirt. On screen, his face looked a little tired, but his eyes remained focused on one thing, Yin. "Hey," Jungkook greeted softly, his voice low and calm. "You're still awake?" Yin smiled faintly. Yeah, I was waiting for you. Was today busy? Pretty exhausting, he murmured, rubbing his temple. But I'm glad I get to see you now. I'm in Bizin, he said while adjusting his camera to make his face clearer. There was something urgent at the branch office. I'll be back in Seoul in 2 days. Bizin? Yin frowned slightly. Jungkook gave a small smile, his voice gentle. Yeah, I just got here this afternoon. They fell into a comfortable silence, simply enjoying each other's presence through the screen. Until finally, Jungkook spoke softly. By the way, I forgot to mention, my mom's been feeling unwell. It's been 2 days. She said her body feels weak, so she's been resting a lot at home. Yin sat up slightly. Did she see a doctor? She did. It's nothing serious, just fatigue, the doctor said. But still, I feel uneasy being this far away. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Yin asked gently, her eyes filled with concern. I could visit her. I didn't want to bother you, but if you're willing to go tomorrow, I'm sure my mom would be really happy to see you, Jungkook said quietly, a hint of relief in his voice. Yin nodded softly. I'll go from the office for a bit tomorrow. My dad will let me, I'm sure. Jungkook looked at her for a long moment before offering a small, grateful smile. Thank you, Yin. I don't know what to say. My mom would be happy to receive that kind of care from you. You don't have to say anything, Yin whispered, resting her head back against the pillow. I'm your fiancé, aren't I? The words were simple, but full of meaning. On screen, Jungkook just looked at Yin with an expression that was hard to define, warm, filled with emotion, and just a bit wistful. They stayed silent for a few moments, just looking at each other through the screen. That night, distance felt smaller, as if the quiet between them was shared, comforting, and real, even across hundreds of kilometers. I miss you, Jungkook whispered at last, his voice barely audible. Yin's heart clenched. She stared at the phone screen, as if she could reach out and touch him. I miss you too. Jungkook exhaled quietly and leaned his back against the headboard. If I were there, I'd be holding you right now. Yin gave a small smile. You can hug your hotel pillow for now. Then you can switch to hugging me when you're back. They chuckled softly. Then they chatted lightly for a bit longer, before finally ending the night with goodnights, both reluctant to hang up, even if it was only through a screen. The next day, as planned, Yin visited her future mother-in-law today. She arrived at the luxurious Jeon family house carrying some fruit and food in her hands. A maid welcomed her in and guided her to the living room. There, sitting comfortably, were Mrs. Jeon and Minji. Ah, Yin, sweetheart, Mrs. Jeon exclaimed with a bright smile. I'm so happy you came. Minji's also here for a visit. Hi, Mom, Yin greeted politely with a slight bow. Hi, Minji. Yin, Minji replied, her smile looking just a bit forced. Did you come straight from the office, Yin? Mrs. Jeon asked as she observed Yin's appearance after Yin joined them. Yin nodded. Yes, Mom. I came here straight from work. How are you feeling? Are you doing any better? Mrs. Jeon smiled warmly. I'm feeling better, sweetheart. Jungkook must have told you, didn't he? I'm sorry to worry you and make you come all the way here while you're still working. Yin shook her head. Please don't say that, Mom. It's no trouble at all. My dad even allowed me to leave the office early so I could visit you. Yes, Jungkook mentioned it last night during our video call. Mrs. Jeon's smile widened. Yes, I know you two have been doing video calls almost every night. I'm truly happy to see how close the two of you have become, she said, eyes sparkling despite the pale look on her face. Yin simply smiled, her cheeks slightly blushing, while Minji pressed her lips tightly, her jaw tensing. She quickly changed the subject. Auntie, have you taken your medicine yet? Minji asked, her tone filled with concern. I have, Minji, Mrs. Jeon replied gently. You're always so thoughtful. Of course, Auntie, Minji said, briefly holding Mrs. Jeon's hand. You're like a mother to me. The comment made Yin raise an eyebrow slightly. Was Minji really that close to the Jeon family, or was she just exaggerating? Minji seemed incredibly attentive toward Mrs. Jeon. She helped pour the tea, fetched a light blanket, and spoke in a soft, soothing voice. Yin observed silently, feeling a little out of place. Minji truly looked like part of the family in this house. The three of them chatted about light topics until Mrs. Jeon eventually excused herself to rest in her bedroom. That left Yin and Minji alone in the spacious living room. The silence felt heavy. Minji looked at Yin with a judging gaze. So, Yin, Minji began, her voice slightly sharper now that Mrs. Jeon was gone. How does it feel to be Jungkook's fiancé? Do you feel lucky? Yin felt slightly offended by her tone, but she tried to stay calm. I feel happy. Jungkook is a good man. Minji gave a sarcastic smile. Oh, he is good, very good, especially to the people close to him. She paused. Do you like the bracelet? Minji asked, her gaze falling on the one Yin was wearing. Yin was a little surprised that Minji brought it up. Yes, I love it. Jungkook picked it out for my birthday. Minji gave a small, dismissive laugh. Jungkook picked it? Oh, Yin, you're adorable. Did he really tell you that? A frown formed on Yin's forehead. What do you mean? He said he chose it himself, she replied, confused by where this was going. Minji chuckled. The sound sharp like broken glass. He's good at keeping things to himself. The truth is, I'm the one who helped him pick that. Yin tensed. You mean, you went with him? Minji waved a hand casually. Not just went with him. I was the one who saw it first. Jungkook was struggling to find a gift. I spotted that bracelet and immediately said, Jungkook, this is it. This will suit her perfectly. He just nodded and bought it. Jungkook is always so busy, you know, Minji said casually, fiddling with the edge of her nail. He asked me to help him choose. He trusts my taste. We went to the jewelry store together, just the two of us that day. I browsed around, picked out a few options. That bracelet, I was the one who said it would suit you best. Jungkook simply agreed. He said, okay, if you say it's good, let's go with that. He really trusts my opinion when it comes to things like that. Minji leaned in a little closer toward Yin. Jungkook always trusts my taste. We've known each other for so long, you know. I know what he likes, what suits him, what he needs. She paused, letting the words sink in. Then she smiled again, this time, a cold and cunning smile. That bracelet is beautiful. A perfect choice, don't you think? A crescent moon. Yin's world felt like it had cracked. That bracelet, a symbol of their fresh start, a romantic gesture from Jungkook, was actually Minji's choice. Minji's words pierced right through her heart. Jungkook always trusts my taste. I know what he likes. Those words didn't just steal the meaning of the gift. They implied a closeness far beyond friendship. Each word from Minji felt like a small blow to Yin's chest. Jungkook, let Minji choose? He just agreed? Was it not he who had carefully thought about Yin's style? Doubt began to creep into her mind, poisoning the sweet memory of when Jungkook fastened the bracelet on her wrist. So you're the one who picked it? Yin asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Yes, Minji answered, her smile growing wider, clearly enjoying Yin's discomfort. I picked that one. Funny, isn't it? A birthday gift from him to you, but I'm the one who decided what it would be. Yin didn't know what to say. A sinking feeling overwhelmed her. Had she misread Jungkook's sincerity all along? Was the bracelet just a formal gift he let someone else handle? Minji's words were so convincing, so full of tiny, specific details that made it all feel too real. This wasn't just a claim. It felt like Minji wanted to flaunt how close she was to Jungkook, close enough to be trusted with choosing personal gifts like that. Minji sat there, eyes gleaming with a victorious glint. She was doing this on purpose, flaunting her bond with Jungkook, with his family, ruining what should have been a special moment between Yin and him. Minji clearly liked Jungkook, and she was doing everything she could to make Yin feel small, insignificant, and out of place compared to their long history. I think I should go now, Yin said suddenly, standing up. She couldn't bear to stay a second longer. Oh, in such a hurry? Minji asked, feigning surprise. Andy will be sad you didn't wait for her. I'm working today, and I need to get back to the office, Yin replied, trying to offer a polite smile. After saying that, she walked over to Mrs. Jeon's room, knocked gently to say goodbye, and left. Inside the car, she felt her heart ache. Was Minji telling the truth? Could it be that Jungkook didn't care as much as Yin thought he did? Could Minji's closeness to Jungkook and his family be deeper than just friendship? On the way home, tears unknowingly rolled down her cheeks. The bracelet on her wrist felt heavy, more like a chain than a romantic piece of jewelry. For the rest of the day and into the next, Yin was consumed by uneasiness. She knew she had to talk to Jungkook. She couldn't keep this to herself. The feeling of betrayal, though not directly by Jungkook, but by the situation and Minji's words, was too heavy to carry alone. The next day, after Jungkook returned to Seoul, Yin asked him to meet her after work. What's wrong, Yin? Jungkook asked, concern in his eyes. You don't look okay. Yin took a deep breath. I visited your mom yesterday, and I met Minji there. Jungkook's expression shifted slightly. Oh yeah? Minji often drops by my parents' house. She's our neighbor. She said something to me, Yin continued, her hands tightening around her teacup. She talked about the bracelet you gave me for my birthday. Jungkook raised an eyebrow. The bracelet? What did she say? She said you asked her to help you choose it, that you two went together to pick it out, and she was the one who chose it, and you just agreed because you trusted her taste. So this bracelet wasn't really your choice, it was hers. Yin spoke softly, watching his face closely. As she finished speaking, Jungkook's face went through a range of emotions: shock, disbelief, then disappointment, and finally, a quiet, simmering anger. What? He asked, his voice low and tight with tension. She said that? Yes, Yin replied, feeling a slight relief at his reaction, though doubt still lingered. She said you trusted her judgment in things like that. It felt like this bracelet wasn't really from you, but from her, and that made me feel uneasy. Jungkook, very uneasy. Yin let her feelings spill. She seemed so close to your mom, so familiar with your family, and the way she talked about the bracelet, it felt like she was trying to show me that she knows you better than I do, that she holds a deeper place in your life. She paused for a moment. Jungkook, does she like you? Jungkook exhaled slowly, his voice calmer, though tension still lingered. Yin, he said firmly, listen to me carefully. Yes? First of all, I don't have even the slightest romantic feeling for Minji. Never. Jungkook said firmly. She is my neighbor and a friend. Our parents are close, which is why she's often around. But our relationship has never been more than that. Nothing more. Second, Jungkook continued, his tone sharpening slightly. What she said about the bracelet was a lie. Yin's eyes widened. A lie? Yes, a lie, Jungkook repeated, leaning forward. I did go to that jewelry store, but I went alone, not with her. While I was busy choosing a bracelet for you, she suddenly showed up. I was surprised, but she told me she was also looking for a bracelet and a necklace for herself. He paused, looking straight into Yin's eyes. So, for her to say I invited her or that we went together, that's completely false. We just happened to run into each other, and it wasn't planned at all. I chose that bracelet myself, Yin, because I wanted to give you something special, something I thought about on my own. She only saw what I picked and casually said, oh, that's nice. I never even asked for her opinion. She just commented, I like that bracelet, and I thought it would suit you perfectly. Why would I ever ask her to choose something for you, when I know you better, your style, your taste? That would be ridiculous, Yin. I don't want you to believe anything she said. From every angle, she's been lying. Jungkook's explanation was clear and firm, a sharp contrast to the manipulative story Minji had painted. He didn't deflect, he explained, and Yin could feel a weight slowly lift off her chest, though a new question began to form. Then, why would she say that to me? Yin asked, her voice still uncertain. Jungkook's face hardened. His voice was cold now, a different kind of cold. A cold born from anger toward Minji, not toward Yin. I don't know exactly what her motive is, but based on what she told you, it sounds like she wanted you to doubt my feelings for you, to doubt my care. Maybe she wanted you to think that I didn't care enough about the things, like choosing a gift for you, and that I relied on someone else. She knew how much that bracelet meant to you, and she tried to take away its meaning. She wanted to make you feel insecure. Maybe she does like me, like you suspected. Or maybe she just doesn't like seeing me with someone else. Jungkook fell silent again, as if deep in thought. Yin waited, letting his words sink in. Jungkook believed her. He denied Minji's claims. His jaw tightened as he spoke again. She manipulated you, Yin. She deliberately made up lies to hurt you and damage our relationship. Hearing Jungkook use the words manipulate and damage our relationship made Yin feel validated. The doubt Minji had planted began to dissolve, replaced by renewed trust in Jungkook. She saw honesty in his eyes, the genuine anger of someone who truly cared that someone had tried to hurt her and their bond. Jungkook, I'm sorry I doubted you, Yin said softly. Jungkook reached across the table and held her hand tightly. Don't apologize, Yin. It's normal for you to feel confused and anxious after hearing something like that, especially from someone who appears close to my family. I should have made sure there were no misunderstandings like this. He sighed again. I know Minji is an old friend and neighbor. I never imagined she would do something like this. I don't know what's going through her mind, but one thing's for sure, I won't let her hurt you or destroy what we're building. Jungkook looked down at their joined hands, then back into her eyes. Yin, you're my fiancé. Soon you'll be my wife. You're the most important person in my life now, not Minji. Not anyone else. You, and that bracelet. I chose it for you with all my heart. I hope you believe me. Tears welled up in Yin's eyes. She nodded. I believe you, Jungkook. Yin, Jungkook said again, his voice filled with determination. Thank you for telling me this. Thank you for not keeping it to yourself and choosing to talk to me directly. This means a lot. I had to tell you, Yin replied quietly. I hated that feeling of discomfort. I wanted to believe you, but what she said made me doubt everything. You were right to do this, Jungkook said. Never hesitate to tell me anything. Trust is the most important thing in our relationship, especially since we started from an arranged marriage. Then Jungkook continued, his tone returning to that cold edge. I'm not going to let this go. I need to deal with this at the root. I'll talk to Minji and her parents. I'm going to set the record straight and make sure she doesn't interfere with us again. Yin's eyes widened. You're going to talk to her parents? Yes, Jungkook replied firmly. This isn't just about Minji. It's about respecting our family's arrangement and protecting our relationship. She's crossed the line. I can't let her get away with this. I won't give her the chance to become even bolder. Hearing Jungkook's firm intention to protect their relationship filled Yin's heart with warmth and relief. She no longer felt alone in facing her doubts about Minji. Jungkook was by her side, believing in her and ready to act for her. All right, Jungkook, Yin said, her voice lighter now. Do what you need to do. The atmosphere in Minji's family home was calm that evening, until the sound of the doorbell rang. Minji, who was sitting with her parents in the living room, turned her head, and soon a housekeeper entered, escorting a guest inside. Jungkook, Minji stood up, slightly surprised to see him, neatly dressed, but with a serious expression on his face. I want to talk, Jungkook said flatly. With you, and with your parents. Minji's parents exchanged glances before inviting Jungkook to sit. Now seated across from them, Jungkook remained polite, but the sharpness in his eyes made it clear he wasn't there for a casual visit. Minji's father nodded. What is it, Jungkook? Jungkook adjusted his sitting posture before speaking, his voice calm but firm. I came here to clarify and resolve an issue that has been deeply troubling both me and my fiancé, Yin. Minji tensed slightly where she sat, but still tried to appear composed. What issue, Jungkook? Jungkook turned to her. His gaze was cold. You told Yin that I asked you to come with me to choose her birthday bracelet, that I trusted your taste and let you pick it out for her. Minji's parents quickly turned toward her. Minji fell silent. You even added that I only nodded because I trusted you, that the bracelet wasn't really my choice, but yours. And you said it in a way that made it seem like I didn't care enough about Yin, like I didn't put effort into a gift that meant so much to her. Did I mishear that, Minji? Minji tried to smile nervously. It was just a light comment, Jungkook. I was only joking. I didn't expect Yin would. Joking? Jungkook cut her off, his tone sharper now. If that was a joke, then it was a bad one, because your words made Yin feel uncomfortable, made her feel unimportant. She even asked me whether I actually picked the bracelet or if you just handed it to me. She felt distant from our relationship, all because of what you said. Minji's father immediately turned to her, his gaze sharp. Minji, did you really say something like that? Minji looked down, biting her lip. I didn't mean to hurt her, Dad. This isn't about your intentions, Jungkook interrupted firmly. It's about the consequences of your actions. You manipulated a story to damage the trust between me and Yin, and I can't let that go. Yes, our relationship started from an arranged marriage, but it's built on honesty and mutual trust, and you tried to undermine that. Jungkook paused, allowing his words to sink in. I don't know your reason for doing this. Maybe you feel close to my family, or maybe it's something else I don't understand. But whatever your reason is, it doesn't justify what you did. He turned his gaze to Minji's parents. Uncle, Andy, I truly value the long-standing relationship between our families. Minji is my friend, but this kind of behavior can't be overlooked. I kindly ask that this doesn't happen again. Minji needs to understand that her actions have consequences, and that trying to interfere with someone else's relationship is not acceptable. No, Jungkook. Minji looked like she was about to defend herself again, but her father raised his hand firmly. Enough, Minji. Then the middle-aged man turned to Jungkook and bowed respectfully. Jungkook, we are truly sorry. We never imagined Minji would act like this. Minji's mother added, her eyes glassy with tears. Please forgive us on behalf of our family and our daughter. Jungkook nodded slightly, though disappointment was still visible on his face. I appreciate your apology, but I ask you sincerely, don't let this happen again. He turned back to Minji. Whatever your reasons were, never say anything again that might damage our relationship. If you can't support us, then stay silent. Don't interfere. Minji bowed her head deeper, her face red with shame and weighed down by her father's disappointed stare. Her father let out a long sigh. Minji, what were you thinking? Apologize to Jungkook and his fiancé now. Minji looked up, tears brimming in her eyes. I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. Your apology should go to Yin, Jungkook said. But what matters now is that you understand. What you did was wrong and must never happen again. Stay away from Yin, and don't even think about interfering in our relationship again. I'll take my leave now, Jungkook said, then stood and bowed politely. Minji's father also stood and gave Jungkook a pat on the shoulder. Thank you for coming in person, and thank you for remaining respectful despite all this. Jungkook gave a small nod. I only want to protect the people who matter most to me, uncle. That's all. Then he walked out of the house, leaving behind silence and a heavy sense of guilt hanging in the living room. Night had fallen, and the atmosphere in each of their homes was growing quiet. In Jungkook's bedroom, the soft glow of a bedside lamp bathed the room in warm light, casting a peaceful tone across the calm night. He sat leaning against his bed's headboard, dressed in a casual tee and pajama pants. His hair was slightly tousled yet still neat. In his hands, his phone displayed Yin's face. She was also in her room, hugging a pillow close to her chest with a soft smile playing on her lips. Did you have dinner? Yin asked gently, her voice clear through the call. Jungkook nodded slowly. I did, as usual. A small smile tugged at his lips. Yin nodded in understanding, her smile still lingering. Me too. It was a pretty long day, but now I'm happy. Jungkook exhaled softly, then looked straight at the screen, his gaze warm yet serious. I want you to know, I went to see Minji and her parents tonight. Yin's eyes widened in surprise. You really went to see her? I did, Jungkook said quietly. I went to their house. I talked to all three of them. I told them everything you told me, including the words she said to you. I explained how much it hurt you. Yin fell silent for a moment, her eyes widening gently in disbelief. But slowly, a small, touched smile formed on her lips, her expression softening with emotion. Jungkook, thank you, she whispered. I didn't think you'd go that far. I'll always do whatever it takes to protect you, Jungkook replied. I was disappointed, Yin, because I trusted her as a friend. But I was more disappointed that she made you doubt how much I care about you. That's something I can't accept. Yin's face softened even more. You really make me feel safe. Jungkook smiled, then shifted slightly to lean closer to the camera. I just want you to know, from the beginning, everything I've done for you, I did with my heart. None of it was thoughtless. I want you to feel loved. A moment of silence passed. On the screen, Yin bit her lips softly, then wiped the corner of her slightly teary eyes. I believe you now, Jungkook, she whispered. I really do. They gazed at each other through the screen, as if distance didn't exist between them. The night air felt warmer under their gaze. They didn't speak much after that, but even the silence felt intimate. When we're living together after the wedding, Yin suddenly said in a quiet voice, will you still video call me from the room next door? Jungkook chuckled, his voice low and tender. If you miss me, I'll video call you, even if we're in the same room. Yin giggled, her smile blooming. That's ridiculous. But romantic, Jungkook shot back quickly. And I'll always choose to be ridiculous if it makes you laugh. Besides, why would we sleep in separate rooms? Of course, we'll share a room. Yin's heart felt warm, her gaze turned tender and full of affection. You really can be sweet. I thought you were cold and stiff at first. You haven't seen all of my sweet sides, Jungkook said with a playful wink, making Yin clutch her pillow with reddened cheeks. It's late, Yin said, trying to shift the mood. Time for bed. Yeah, go to sleep, baby, Jungkook said softly. Dream of me. Oh no, Jungkook was truly making her heart race. You too, Jungkook, dream of me too. After their sweet goodnight and final smiles, they ended the call. But their smiles lingered for a long time, even after the room lights were turned off and the night completely embraced them. Damn, they had truly fallen for each other, and forgotten that their relationship started from an arranged marriage.